What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Arccway, a new direction of a modern man. My name is Tulu, and this is Zack. So today we're going to be talking about two colognes you guys should check out. So Zack is going to take us through them, and he's going to break it down for us. Let's go.
Currently, we've got the Creed Erolfa on deck here. I believe it is 16M01. That is the batch from 2016. So like all Creeds, especially the ones in the 120 ml size, so see how it's squared out? So it's 120 ml. So this fragrance here, it's, if I were to describe it perfectly, and I'm going to give it its rating right now so I can just hype it up, I'm going to give it a solid 9. The reason why I give it a 9 is because when I wear the scent, I feel like I'm beside the ocean. I'm eating a fresh cut fruit, so maybe like some kind of citrus, like a orange or like a melon. Melon's one of the notes in this, and then you smell like this strong sea salt breeze mixed in with like this woodiness to it, and it's extremely unique. It's like almost, you're wearing a nice shirt and someone says, hey, you want to go yachting, and it's got that that just aquatic but very masculine vibe. First things first, I want you to try it on because I want you to see the picture I'm painting here. So let's put it on like right over here. So in the opening, Erolfa is very strong, and that's perfectly fine. All Creeds are extremely strong and different in the openings compared to mass market. The dry down, it's got real ambergris in it. It's got some of the nicest aquatic ambergris notes I've smelt in fragrance. But all of that mixing together, you get like this gorgeous by the ocean sea salt, just airiness, but it's mixed in with the sharp citrus and just a gorgeous scent.
It's funny, when he sprayed it, I smelt it off the bat, and I was like, you can see that reaction in the camera. I was just like, whoa, you can really smell it. And yeah, I can literally everything you're saying, I can really picture it. The sea salt spray, the citrus smells as well, like a fresh orange.
And it just screams money to me. Like, you wear it, you're like,
wow.
It's like you feel like you're on someone's yacht in the Mediterranean, and you're just about to have some lobster on the, for lunch, and you could smell the ocean breeze hitting your nose, and they've got like fresh cut fruit there, and it's just like, I don't know, it's just so fresh, and it's so like...
Yeah, man. It smells like, it tastes like an orange liquor. You know what I mean? Like something from like Spain, for example. But it smells actually really, really good.
And what would you give it out of 10?
Man, it's so different for me that I'm always willing to try something extreme. So I think I'll give it like an 8.5.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I know the damage it'll do to like all the girls and stuff that are just wearing it. But I want to see how I embody it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
This is an interesting one.
And I guess, so the reason why I give this, a 9 out of 10, like such a high rating, is because when you smell how it dries out on the skin, there's like zero synthetic notes to it. There's nothing synthetic in it. So when you smell like a real ambergris and these aquatic sea notes, so like the true smell of the sea mixed in with like the unique citrus blends and the spices, it's like a work of art. There's really no better way to describe it. So this, to me, it's like, if you were to look at the Mona Lisa in the art gallery, the real one-of-one copy, right? And then, let's say, for example, you were to print it out and look at it at home, right? So even though they're both the Mona Lisa, the one that you printed out, it's an imitation. It's not the same. It doesn't have the same feeling. So when I would compare it to, let's say, like a Dolce & Gabbana light blue, or, like an Acqua di Gio or something that's more mass market, the mass markets are like a printed out picture of a Mona Lisa, but this here is the legitimate Mona Lisa.
So you can really feel and smell the difference.
Exactly, right? So man. I mean, even though fragrance is fragrance, right? You've got, let's say, an imaginary Acqua di Gio here in the Creed Erolfa. They're both meant to be aquatic scents, but one of them is truly the sea captured in a bottle, and the other one is just a bunch of synthetics. made to just an average nose that walks in.
Yeah, right. So for the people that may not know what synthetics exactly is, explain what that is and where they'll find synthetic like perfumes, like
Yeah.
Zara or something, or
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'll be completely honest, and it's a great mention, Azaro. So Azaro has one called Chrome.
Okay.
Chrome was kind of meant to be very fresh and airy, but also they've got like an aquatic version too. When you smell something like Azaro, you smell like these. So when I smell a fragrance and I smell like a Creed, right?
Okay.
A Creed to my nose feels very smooth. So if you were to draw a line, an imaginary line, it would be like perfectly straight, no ridges or bumps.
Okay.
When I smell an Azaro, and if you were to, as you smell it, you draw a line, and whenever you smell something that's sharp to the nose, you do a ridge, almost like a lie detector test. When I smell the Azaro, it's got like a ton of ridges, and then it goes straight once I'm done smelling it.
Wow.
So,
wow.
when I'm smelling this, for example, it's like a perfectly straight line. It's like all these notes are beautifully layered. They hit my nose, and it's just so smooth, so well composed.
Smell that.
So I guess the true test, and when I'm, you go and you look for a fragrance, right? So let's say you're in Shoppers Drug Mart, you're trying to find something that's more aquatic for an everyday, right? My top brands to stick with that don't have too many ridges when you smell it, they're more very just smooth to the nose. So it's the brands that are actually just really prestige. So I'll give a huge shout out to Givenchy and Dior. They're both owned by LVMH. They typically on the testers they have the LVMH on the back of the bottle, but anything that's Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy, they've got their own garden in France and they're extremely high end. So not too many synthetics, maybe a couple, just because you pay $130. It can't all be real. But Creed, because it goes for about $550 plus tax, right? They've got not just fresh ingredients, but the best of the best in the world. That's why it goes for so much. But the Creeds, they they're just. This is why I spend the money on Creed, because they're just so smooth to the nose. Whoever's around you, they smell that and they're like what is this guy wearing, right? Like
Creed,
what is that like heavenly scent?
Yeah. You got me really invested into Creed, man. Over these videos, multiple videos we have done. If you guys haven't checked those out, make sure to check them up there. But yeah, having these Creed smells, man, you really made me more invested into it, and I'm excited to get my first Creed bottle because I don't know where to start, but I know you have the right guidance, so you got me in the right direction there.
And what that inspired me to say too was there's and if you look at all the different brands that go for over $400, right?
Yeah.
And they all say, we've got natural ingredients, the best in the world.
Yeah.
If you were to give me 50 of the best natural raw ingredients in the world, sourced from all the best places, and say, make me a fragrance, well, I'm not an artist. I'm not like Erwin Creed. Erwin Creed can literally take all these ingredients and to his nose's fine tuning can just place them all perfectly in a fragrance from the top notes, the heart notes, and the bottom notes. So I mean, like, just because a brand says, we've got all these fresh ingredients, we made this great fragrance, doesn't mean that they turned it into a piece of art, right? Creed, when they make a fragrance, this guy is like the Bill Belichick of the fragrance world. He is he is Erwin Creed and Oliver Creed, or Olivier, I should say.
For sure.
These two guys, man, like they know what they're doing. So when I look at brands like I don't really want to trash a ton of brands, but I'll let you use your own imagination. The two brands three, I guess I could say, that brands that I really like for in a higher set or price profile would be Creed, Francis Kurkdjian, and sometimes Tom Ford. It really depends, but Tom Ford, their private collection, shocks my nose. Killian too, so if I were to make it 4. But that's about it. I've tried quite a different variety, and this brand is always the most sought after. And there's a reason for it.
There's always a reason for it, man.
Yeah.
Dude, this is great. Like, definitely. Price point, and where can they pick these both up, actually?
Yeah, sure. So, if you're looking at the Givenchy, the Boisé, you can come find me in the GTA. If you want to follow me, 91 Octane Fragrance on Instagram, just shoot me a message, and I'll be sure to get you some samples to try it on first. And then if you like it, you come see me and we'll get you a nice deal. I've always got nice gifts with purchase. So we can definitely just message me. If you don't want to find me, you can always just go to Shoppers, The Bay, or Sephora, and they're going to have this variety here. I believe it goes for either 121 or 124, depending on the retailer. And Creed, so you're never going to find a 120 ml size like this. But what you will find is the current 100 ml size, so just 20 milliliters less in a bit of a different bottle. You can get those at Harry Rosen, Harry Rosen, Holt Renfrew, and Barney's in the States, and Saks Fifth Avenue.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
My personal recommendation, if you're in the GTA, you go see Barbara at the Square One Holt Renfrew location. She's their counter manager as of summer 2020.
Perfect.
And she's amazing. She's always been very generous with me, sending me samples, and I always like to send serious buyers her way because she's just a very good person to do business with. She always does her best to help the client, and hey, that's a good recommendation for her. So I mean, I would say just, if you're looking to buy a Creed, go see her. She'll show you the best, and she'll see what she can do. She'll get you something nice with it, maybe.
Amazing.
So,
there you go.
Yeah.
You got that 120, so you got the direct connect.
Yes. So a lot of people are probably wondering, how am I able to get all 120 ml bottles full? So, I prefer to keep things secret. They're not stolen. I pay a good amount of money for them. But I mean, when you really want something, you search for it and you try to get them.
Yeah. You get determination. That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
The reason why I'm getting 120s instead of the newer 100 batches is I have tried the newer 100 batches in all of the Creed varieties, and I find some of them just to be, they need to mature a bit more. I'm not going to say that they're not the same ingredients, but there's definitely been reformulations throughout the years. And a reform could be like one preservative that's been taken out or something gets banned. Yeah, and I mean, I remembered the 120s to always be very long lasting on me. So I spend a bit extra.
Of course.
But yeah, I mean, like the newer 100 batches for Aventus, I've been testing them out personally. Still very much worth the money. Creed is never not going to be worth it. I'm just extra picky.
Of course, yeah. I'd rather get the 120 than the 100 for sure.
I like you get extra juice in it.
Of course, at the end of the day. So there you guys have it. Thank you guys for checking out this channel. Most importantly, hit up Zack on his IG and his YouTube channel. Ask him any questions you guys want. You guys need guidance with your perfumes or colognes, whatever. For your girlfriend, just ask him away. Ask him any questions you guys have, and he'll help you out from there. Thank you guys for watching Arccway, a new direction of a modern man, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Hey.
Peace.